And I have amazing people that have been patient. Thank you so much, Alvin, Katia, Emily, my boss, and Maurice. Thank you all so much for coming over, and amazing content for all of you guys that came and wanted to come and have a time with us. Okay. Even not having an idea what this is about, but we still have the trust and faith and silence. And you know what? Let me go and see what she's going to talk about. So I'm going to introduce the people we have.
Wait. Sorry.
Everybody put their phone in mute.
Yeah, if you all can put our phones on mute.
Silent or vibrate.
Or vibrate, that would be good. I want you to help me record for us while we stand around, so that's why people just go record it over the next minutes, just to let them know what we're doing and then so that's
No, that's it. This one is here. Okay, this is recording also.
We have President Buffon. He's the Mr. Green, and he's the creator of the Buffon treatment.
Buff boy.
Fitness. Sorry, I like that. Buff boy fitness, and he's dedicated to training professionals, actors, media people. So celebrity, that's like what he trains. So in case you want to put just make sure you talk with Mr. Buffon, and he's gonna make you look like that people is. You can see the wife right there. See how beautiful she is. That's Abby. She's a woman with a lot of heart. She has written books. She's an actress. She does podcasts. She's an author, and she has 6 kids. See how?
They do a lot of exercise.
So
That's fine.
husband and wife, which is couples. And for the singles, we have someone representing us for the singles as well, which is
Praise the Lord.
nothing bad. And this is the one that represents the ladies on the single side. Everyone is married. And we are going to look for a single male that is going to represent them. So I will need a volunteer. If you know you're single, that can represent our just and pick you to come.
What happened to the MC?
So what has he introduced you?
Huh?
Did she introduce you?
The men
I don't know.
was single.
No. Have you introduced
No, I
all the
haven't.
panelists?
I need to put a few and I'm missing one person, which is the man to represent the singles. Anybody wants to volunteer?
Or maybe all of them are married.
No, maybe I can do someone. So if you're not married, it's about
Yes, true. Unfortunately,
Yes.
we need someone that's able to represent who a lady can do the job as well. If you're a single lady, you want to add to it so that way we can balance it. You can think about it. In the meantime, I will introduce all my panelists. I have Mr. George, aka Bluetooth. Anything you see him has Bluetooth. Everyone that doesn't have a Bluetooth in the private. He's aka Mr. Bluetooth. He's the host of the Global Access. I love, the
Afro Global Television.
TV, and he's a lot of people know him as Mr. Packaging.
Mr. Package, what are oh, no.
It's very unusual.
Colors. And it's Valentine. What are you doing? Yes.
I'm trying to be like Drew, Wayne. I wanted us to just wear black on top and something on the bottom. Mm-hmm. No, we know MC Morris is going to be here, so he will represent us when it comes to fashion. Mr. Packaging too. Katia.
From Katia, and also I will have them, I will introduce something also, I will have them, yeah.
We already have mics.
Okay, yeah. Please, if you can please help me
Introduce do the job.
Yeah, Mr. J, I pass the one to you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Katia Valino. Katia Valino is an author. She's an actress. She's also a social media entrepreneur. She has her own line of products under Katia Valino, her own fashion design, also Katia Valino Fashions. You can get all these. If you go downstairs later, you will also see her makeup line for the ladies. In case you decide to take the whole product, we have a makeup artist who will test everything on from your face to your toe. You know how it is with women now. So that's Katia Valino here. Am I forgetting anything else? As a matter of fact, right here is her book, very interesting book here. Yeah, the book, this particular one, is 25 ways to reach orgasm. Somebody just whispered in their breath, this is Sunday, oh, this is Sunday. We know this is Sunday. Yeah, so products downstairs. Mm-hmm.
And also we have ladies, she's the one who presented the symbols. Miss Emily. I said it correctly.
She's single.
I'll have MC Morris help me introduce Miss Emily.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Right, take mic now.
I will introduce her. I will introduce her. Oh my God. Okay, the right thing. Ladies and gentlemen, why are you people so serious? You want to hear about Okay, Emily and Andrew. She's an actress by excellence. She's a book writer, though the book never come out. She's a singer.
And the album never come out.
She's also an healthcare worker. Hey, what did you do again? Ladies and gentlemen, she's a model, she's a brand ambassador. She does all kinds of jobs except blow job. But ladies and blow job is better than no job. So that's Emilia. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Emilia.
I think Katya's book is the one that is influencing him.
And the last one on the list is him, Morris, popularly known as MC Morris. That's a guy. He's been around in the entertainment industry for a while, so that's why he's so confident and anything he can make a joke with. And he moved to Canada, he's listening to producing, filming. He has a man with a lot of hats, and he does excellent in what he does. Anything he picks, he comes with it so good. And the last but not the least, you all are wonderful. People knowing that, even if you knew that I do usually cook it, you'd be like, okay, let's come and see what she's doing. So, despite me not being on that NAIJA, this is something that I have in my heart that I want to be doing. It's a talk show. We use the Valentine as a breaking to talk about the love relationship and networking, but that won't be what the only thing we're going to be discussing. As time goes, we'll be talking about so many different things that affect us individually in the community because this is just something I know it's going to be wonderful. It's going to be, we both learn both ways. I'm definitely going to learn a lot because I've been doing so many analysis and I can see that, okay, I have to learn. So we're going to go straight to the topic and I've listed, you guys list a lot. I have Anne, she's going to be the one helping to pass up the mic. So we'll go straight to the questions. When I post out the questions, my panelists will be the ones to answer and the audience will contribute. Feel free, no kids here, let's just be raw.
Madam Gloria, got me. The bottom row.
So the first question, I'm ready to be. The first question would be, so let me see, what the couples, and this can also go for the singles as well. Can you have a joint account with your spouse or boyfriend? I will have Mr. Wayne be the one to answer first, and then we'll pass the mic to everyone that wants to contribute. Which means, can you have a joint account? It doesn't have to be your wife or a boyfriend. Can you have a joint account with them?
Yeah. We do have a joint account, but
but then we also have separate accounts as well. So it's not that like if you have a joint account, like every single dollar that goes in and goes out, you can't like keep a track of it, or you know, like that you don't trust the other person. But it's we do that just so that we can build together and save together. So because I trust her, she trusts me. So, yeah. So yes, you can.
Oh, okay. Does everybody agree that you can have a joint account? Oh, that was easy. So we all agree that we can have a joint people with our boyfriends as well?
I disagree. I disagree. With that. And I also disagree with the spouse. It depends on the kind of relationship, the kind of spouse you have, on trust. If you don't trust your spouse, you don't need to have a joint account with the spouse, not even a boyfriend.
I can answer that. When you don't trust your spouse, then why do you them?
You know, another thing is, maybe in the relationship, not as if you don't trust your spouse, but some spouse are reckless when it comes to financials. They don't know how to manage. Yeah, I'm not talking about like infidelity or anything, but I'm talking about when it comes to monitoring. Some spouse are very, very, very annoying. So okay, I like that you mentioned the timing. Yeah, you talked about why being with a person. Yeah, if you don't trust the person, relationship grows.
To go through
Love develops. So that you're starting sincerely at the first 1 year, wouldn't run for the next 5-15 years. Yeah. So people changes, characters changes. As you grow in the relationship, you get to know the person better, and then you know when she's talking about. So for some of us who've been married for about 20 years, you know the categorization. For me, I go into joint account for project purpose. So when it comes to my regular savings or my regular earnings, it's my sole account. So at the end of the day, it's not like probably back home, somebody says, I need a dress. You will say to a guy, you know, I need to take some outings. You must bring a record. Yeah. No, not this agent time. Thank you.
Yes.
I have a contribution there. Like say, I'm just throwing that question in support to what you're saying. I do have a friend that got a little sickness with gambling. So whatever goes into his pockets, for some reason, something drives him inside to end up at Woodbine. And then sometimes he sleeps there and comes back home crying. And then he repeats the same thing again. So if you have such a spouse, both of you having a joint account, and your account is always empty because he's gambling it away. So what do you do with that? Because such is a very, such can become very annoying, especially when bills are due or something is bouncing and you're supposed to have money there. And then all of a sudden, the account is empty. So how do you deal with such a thing? Would you trust to have a joint account with such a person?
Yes. I beg to differ a little bit. I'm gonna go back to what my sister and my mom said. Sorry that I want to repeat a few things that she said. Having a joint account doesn't mean that that's your all account. If you talk, you agree. If you make 10,000 a month, you make 3,000 a month. You guys have to agree on how much money to put in that joint account to pay the bills. And you keep your own money to do whatever you want to do with your money. You keep your own money to do whatever you want to do with your money. But that joint account is a joint account that you guys need to decide what goes out of this joint account. Remember, women, we love to shop as much as you're talking about gambling. We love to shop. So whatever you want to do with your own personal money, after you have contributed your 50% of income into the joint account, is solely onto you. So joint account and separate account, there's nothing wrong with that.
When you said 50,
Sure.
yeah,
And from a legal standpoint, when you get married, when you get married and say it doesn't, your relationship doesn't work out, because we know over 50% of marriages are
and then, right? Which means you have a 50% of the match. When the court is actually doing a calculation as to how much any one member of any one party in the marriage owes, they tend to want to trace how much you contributed, who was paying the mortgage, right? So if you were paying 75% of the mortgage and it was supposed to be 50-50, that person now has a 25% debt to you for each payment. And the best way to track that is with a joint account. But do not keep all your money in one account. Have your money for things and separate that, because as much as we say till death do us part, sometimes a judge will help you in that very good way.
That's good. That's a good one.
So from a baby girl standpoint,
Can we see who is speaking?
from a baby girl standpoint, your money, our money, no joint accounts. I am. Yeah. Our money. I don't need a joint account. Your account, I have access to your account. I see how you're spending. You spend anyhow. You come and tell me today, what the fuck is going on? Why is that one? We are in 2023. It's not everybody that has to be over. We are not in joint account. We don't have access to my account. I have access to it. Period.
No, she sounds like a dictator. Who's your husband? Your husband's here with you today? He's at the casino. I'm joking. Hey. Oh, you look beautiful, my black sister. There we go.
Thank you for your contribution. I would personally say, contribution-wise, I think having a joint account is necessary. As he says, it's actually ideal to have a joint account whereby this is for projects, this is for bills, this is for everything. And then I have my personal ones that I can use, because a lot of women, I would say 85% to, I think 85% of women are independent. So they will know when to be asking their husbands for something. They have their goals and they have the things that they want to do. And I don't think it's necessary for you to constantly be asking your spouse for like money. It's not ideal.
I don't think we've answered the question what he's saying. He's saying now, if he's spending that joint account money on gambling, what do you do? That's what he's saying. Nobody has answered that.
Yes. Spending it on gambling, those are personal issues that the person has to resolve within themselves. But I guess that's a relationship. It's not something that you can actually, if you want to help them and it's your loved one, I think you go to the necessary
I think if your wife and your husband is spending your joint account money on gambling, will you continue doing that joint account with him?
You will seek and help him out, because that's why you.
When you start, put your stuff to that account first and all. Yes, even before you start seeking for help or anything. Because it's going to run down the family financially.
Yes, and that's part of help. Putting a stop is part of help. It's not stopping, cutting that pipeline for him if he doesn't have access to the money. That's also part of the therapy. So there are so many different things that I think that the wife has to do on behalf of the husband prior to even seeking help. By stopping, taking out the credit card, debit card, taking out everything that he has access to, and trying to bring him back to factory setting or something like that.
Yes, when we say joint account, my understanding is all parties have access to that account, even at withdrawal and at deposit, especially at withdrawal. So if it's a joint account, I have to sign, he has to sign for the money. Okay.
Okay, I do understand, because like you said, that question, I believe that the best thing to do is to correct. And let's reverse the case. in the same question also, having a joint account, because this is important. What if you have a wife that is a shopaholic? She makes good money now, and then you guys have a joint account, but because of that thing that pushes them, all of a sudden you start seeing fancy things, and then, you just go buy, and then scratch your head later on there. Maybe a couple of things bounced by the time you're able to transfer money into that account or whatever. What would you do with such a person as a husband?
But I think it's the same. It goes the same way, I think. Just the way you're going to protect your husband by taking out the access, the card and access to the account, you do the same thing also to the wife.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a strong man in this house, and his name is MC Morris. And I would like us to please ask MC Morris to answer this question from a traditional cultural standpoint. Thank you.
Okay, thank you everyone, ladies and gentlemen. I'm made in a group producing data before I was marketed in Lagos. From my own point of view, I will not have joint accounts with anybody. Yes. Reasons number one is I believe it's my responsibility to take care of this family. And as such, I will do that. Not that my wife knowing how much is in my account and all that. When I go out and bring an expensive gift for her, the first thing she looks at the account balance. So be sure that you're not running down the money. And women can be emotional. They always want to make sure things are put in order. They want to know how you're spending the money and all that. But as a man, sometimes you just want to go to the store. If I love my wife, I can. If it even costs me everything I count to buy a gift, I'll buy. I'm okay with that. It gives me joy. But if we're running a joint account, I can't take that money. And apart from that, there's a way the money will grow into. The devil will start speaking to the woman. So you say this one cool, and I'll let you get this money. So, ladies and gentlemen, let everyone carry their grace and take care of you. Let everybody carry their grace.
Thank you so much for that contribution. We're going to go to the next one, which I want you to answer that as well, since you have the mic. Can you and your spouse have the same share password on your phone? And can your spouse vice versa pick up each other's phone?
Okay, the truth is my password right now, nobody has it. It's mine. And phone is a personal thing. You don't need to be opening it to go and search. And most times it's business messages that I get. I'm not supposed to disclose client's message to the general. Then you check section 22, subsection 9, verse 4 of the 1999 Constitution. Nigeria Constitution is there. So I'll not share my password with my spouse. I don't share my password with anybody. It's personal because it's better. Sometimes it's better not to know. Because some people just send message. Even there are times that there's some message will come into your phone mistakenly. Once you send if your spouse sees it, they won't understand that it's a mistake. They would have reacted already. That's what like, if you are in a trusting relationship, and I did this with my wife. The first thing when she first met me to let me know that I'm committed to her,
or my sister. Wait till you can finish now. The first thing I did was give her my passport. But then when you start getting into arguments and you get into those little periods in your relationship where certain things are not going rosy, and all of a sudden, they start using the passport against you. And we are men. Once we have one passport for one thing, that's the same passport for everything. We don't have differentiated passwords, right? I might capitalize one letter one day, I might not capitalize. So and I'm a lawyer, so I actually have to keep people's secrets, right? He has to keep people's secrets. You understand? So I can't my wife can't go through my phone and see if a client is texting me or telling me certain things, because that's protected and privileged information. True. Right? And then I look like a drug dealer. You see how that works? No. I have different phones for different countries. You have your UK phone, you have your Ghana phone. I have one for personal and one for one for the side piece. One for the side piece too, huh? One for the side piece, huh? Even on the you have to protect your client's secrets. So that is it. I mean, because of my business too, I protect my client's secrets.
Like, yes, for me, I know I agree, but I think that for me, like, it doesn't matter. My children have my password. Like, they go on my phone all the time to watch YouTube or whatever. I have nothing to hide, so you want to go through my phone, go ahead. So that's yes, like, for real, I don't know. But it's our business that makes us keep passwords, not general. So from what I see, the main
Well, you see, from my own standpoint, actually, you know how it is. If you have a curious wife or boyfriend or girlfriend, that everything is something, I think it would be best not to share passwords, because personally, like what we're just discussing here, there are some messages that will come and will look like something when it's really nothing. And when the spouse sees that, it's almost like, what in the world is this? This honey, they're calling you, who is that, or whatever the case might be. You know how people use certain words these days very easily, yes, love, or whatever the case might be. And then you start typing what you're saying, and then all of a sudden something that is not will become something that is. So we are, sometimes it's really, I don't think you can share passwords, but I won't touch your phone. I will not. As a man, I will not pick up my wife's phone. I will not, go looking into it. I have no business there. I'm not going to touch it, except if she says, go get this or get that from the phone, then I can do it. But it's just to go and curiously trying to find out what she's doing or what she's not doing. Don't even try it, because if you're looking for something, whether it's there or not, you're going to find something for sure. So don't look.
So we're going to go to the next topic. We're going to take it a little bit before this time. Can you forgive your spouse if you find out he or she has cheated on you for a long time?
Married. Oh, no, there's a different definition. Spouse could be common law. But marriage, where you swear to God and you swear to family.
Common law. So can you forgive your spouse or your boyfriend and girlfriend if you find out they have
Spouse, yes, or girlfriend, no. No. Spouse, hold on. All right. My answer to that is spouse, yes. If I married you, we had our traditional and our Christian wedding, that's a different oath. That's a whole different standard. You just don't walk away from that relationship. Nowadays, and you spend a lot of money letting the world do this. It's true. Hey, the oath you take at marriage is huge. No, that's what I said. I'm not breaking it. I said spouse. Yeah, we're cool. I forgive her. For my wife, I will forgive. But for a girlfriend, Yes. But you know the beautiful thing about your vows? Through thick or thin, for better or worse.
No, but he says also, forsaking all others. Forsaking all others. So why are you going to go and bring all others into the relationship?
I married a girl I have one night with her, or she's married a guy, she has one. If she has a relationship with that guy, that's a different story. But if it was a one-off, no, move on.
The question is, if you find out that he or she has been cheating for a long time, so that means that, you know, something developed emotionally with the other person.
Okay, if it's a one-off, forgive. But if it's a continuous relationship, well, you have to have the conversation. But if, hey, we are African, and in Ghana terms, this is what will happen. You can't even, the whole family will get together, all of us. Her mother, her father, my mother, my father, uncles, family heads, everybody to discuss. You can't just walk away from a marriage. You understand? But if it's just a girlfriend, cool. But not a wife. That's why we come from a wife for. Wife is different from girlfriend though. Hey.
Okay, let me get it now. So which means you will forgive your spouse.
Yeah.
But if it's a girlfriend, you will not forgive.
I will look at my wife and tell her, why did you let me find out? Keep it to yourself.
Yeah, right. Are you Muslim?
No, I wouldn't. In a second. And especially if you have children together with your wife, if you have children in that situation, maybe it's her season, she's going through something.
The question really is, can you forgive? Yes, you can. Yes, you can forgive, but is it something that we will do, you know, audience?
I was once married and divorced and I'm single. I don't think infidelity is one of the reasons why I divorced. So when your man cheats on
Were you cheating or was he cheating?
me too? So like you said, if it's one-off, it's understandable. But if it's something you're doing continually, I wouldn't say just leave it immediately. You can have a conversation, and if it's accepted that it's going to stop, and you will do it again, and all that stuff, and you continue doing it, and okay, I'm not going to say my business, and if there'll be a time whereby, because when you start cheating, it only comes with emotional abuse too, because it's getting some kind of look outside. Now you don't even look like his wife anymore. You are like a stranger to him. So all other things start adding up to it, and the marriage becomes toxic. And why most women leave? Actually, it's for the sake of their own children, because now they don't want those kids to be in such an environment, and they feel. And for me, I would say don't divorce immediately. Start with separation, and see there will be a change. But if after there's a separation for a while, and you see this man is still who he is and all that, then for me, the best thing is just to divorce it. Nobody wants to divorce, nobody wants it. But then there comes to a time whereby you have no choice, and that will be the final solution. And at the end of the day, for your own mental health, but especially for the kids you have for that now.
Okay, that's a question, brother.
So the question is, if your spouse cheats on you, will you leave? So I'm going to speak from a woman's point of view. If I cheat on my spouse, I would advise him to leave me. Because whatever made me get attracted to another man, that's it. Whatever made me give another man a chance to sleep with me. Because I don't know if I'm speaking for most women, but women make love with emotion. Like we must love you to have sex with you. And the same men don't have to love to have sex. They can just release and be happy. But for us, we must love you to sleep with you. I don't know. That's why I said I don't know if I'm speaking for all women, but I'm speaking for 90% of not women that say, oh, I was sleeping with a man and look at him in the But for 90% of the women,
99%.
we must love you to sleep with you. So if I ever cheat on my spouse, please leave me because they can never be peace in that home. It's done. Yeah, being honest, and I have a question for her. When you cheat on Mr. A, you step out. You go to Mr. B, the emotion is also different, and you want something else, you step out. You go to Mr. C, what happens?
You step out.
Women don't step out like that. When we get married, we love. It's all your bad behavior that is making that love die. So we don't step out like that. So if Mr. A messes up and we go to Mr. B, but if you remember we made a mistake getting that person that got our emotion. So when we're going to B, we'll be very careful to get B. And I think we'll be more also mature and we'll know how to keep B better and know what the mistakes we made in the first place that made that love to deviate. So we don't keep stepping out like that.
2 seconds. I have an old saying to all the young men that I advise. The way you met her is the way you will lose her. If she was with a man and you wrestle her away, a man will wrestle her from you. So,
With my own point, like what she said is it's just the same thing like what she said. But with women, like some people, like good 10% of, I don't care. If you cheat on me, don't worry, I will cheat back. Me, I will not cheat back with someone random. Your brother, even your dad. I'll be very, I don't give a fuck, so I'll be very open. Like with my man, I'm very open, you're very open. I kind of like girls too. And sometimes you're like, oh, girl, I saw this girl, and my own is don't go and accept the guys in my back. Do it like, yeah. But even with me having fun, and he does shit, next. And even if the next doesn't work next, because at the end of the day, you have to pick yourself first. You can't compare old-fashioned life to, like, I'm very open, I still don't care. I watch my mom is still in our marriage, and I've told my parents several times to divorce. My parents are different, and the only reason why they can't get divorced is because they are Christians. They are not happy in that marriage. And as they are, I tell them every time they kind of talk to me, I tell them that, do you know the way you're talking to me right now? If Jesus comes, trumpet sound right now, fire. Because you are talking bad about your husband to me. That is not righteous. So why are you in that marriage? Because of your Christian, you're protecting your child. Even that child, me living this kind of rascal life, is because of the trauma I got from her. So I know that. So it's like that. My parents still love me the way I am, and they understand, oh, they are part of the group life. I'm just saying that you're trying to protect your marriage, or you're trying to think about your old fashion. If you're not happy yet, think about yourself first, because you are woman, you have to love yourself. Then think about who you're affecting, your children. Sometimes being in that marriage doesn't mean I don't want kids. So good.
All right.
We're still speaking, my dear. It's okay. So to be honest, I'm not here to judge anybody. But with my own philosophy and my own, can we see a beautiful face? Okay, so my own point of view, I'll tell you, I'm still single, not married. But to be honest, why? Because I haven't found the right guy. It's not difficult. kids. So sometimes it's not all about, oh yeah, shit, you offended me and that's the end of the story. No, it takes two to tango. And I feel like if we're judging just because of the first mistake, do you know what you're going out there to meet? So sometimes patients really have to come in between relationships. But yes, if it happens again, zip, there is no turning back. No, to be honest. Yeah, so let me say that. I'm still up there fine. So please, yes, to be honest, it's like we really have to learn how to tolerate each other because there is no perfect relationship, no perfect marriage. So what? Are you going out there to meet a virgin? No, everybody messes around. But the point is you have to respect your spouse, respect your relationship to keep it going. But then if they continue and you feel like, yes, this is now frustrating for me because my happiness is always the first thing in my life. If I feel like I can't take it anymore, then I will just let you know I'm not born for you. We're born separately and I can survive without you. Then that should be the end of the relationship. Until you meet a man that values you and respects you, they're out there. I don't have to fuck around and take your shit just because I want to be with somebody. Okay, that's it. But seriously, I believe we all have these things inside us that we feel like, yes, there is a limit to what everybody can say. But to be honest,
The panel is the whole audience.
So that brings to the next question. This is a little bit sensitive question, and what will you do? I think I will stand up.
Come here. No, stand here. So the camera can. Right here.
So what will you do if you find out that the kids will be raising aren't your biological
Why is everybody pointing at him?
You know, it's that's really gonna cost, right? Yeah, you know, anyone. Anyway, so basically, like if you find yourself in that kind of situation, right? You're a man, and you found out that you've been raising, you know, another person's son or daughter, right? I feel the first thing you should do is to put a boundary, right? Because if you know that you can't stand the pressure, a lot of people can actually, you know, like see how to go around with maybe forgiveness, you know, and all that, talk with each other. But I know a lot of people will not be able to condone that kind of act. Personally, I might not be able to condone it because even if you say you want to forgive her, and you've been raising the same.
Why would you point it?
No, we just discussed this topic quite recently.
So honestly speaking, it depends on the individual. Some people, they have good hearts, right? So they can actually forgive and move on. And you just see that, like as if nothing happened. And why some people would not be able to condone that, because even if they condone that, with time, you know, the thoughts and all that will continue to, like, you know, haunt them. And, you know, like, so I feel the best thing in that situation is to move on, right? You move on, and that's it, right? You just leave the child and move on your own.
Okay, wait a minute. Wait, because no, let him have that microphone, please, because we gotta touch the tentacles in this. You got 5 kids. Okay? No, I'm saying hypothetically, you got 5 kids. Then you discover that 2 of them are not yours. Okay? So what are you gonna do in this situation? Because you got 3 that belongs to you, but 2 was dipped out, you know, outer course that brought it in. So how would you deal with that situation? Would you tell those children that I'm not your biological father, or would you continue to raise them the same? Whatever you deal with your wife, you know, at this point is a different issue altogether.
Yeah, exactly. I think I've mentioned that earlier on. So it depends on the individual. A lot of people would not be able to condone that act, right? So I can't speak for everyone, right? So for me personally, you know, like I said, it's really gonna hurt, right? But if you know you cannot continue in that relationship with your wife, and every day you wake up, you see that child, and you still have that kind of, honestly speaking, you probably gonna see you're gonna differentiate between yours and the one that is not yours. You know, there's no way we're all human, right? So the best way is to just let go. But if you know that you can live with that, and when you want to live with that, make sure that you don't differentiate between all the children and you raise them the same way. That is what I'm talking about. The hearts. If you can live with it, go ahead. But if you know that you cannot live with that kind of situation, please just leave. You can just separate or divorce, move on your own. The kids are okay. You know what I'm saying? So I can't speak for everyone. No, of course. No, that's what I'm saying. So like he can still treat them the same way. But what I'm telling you that we men, we can act the same way. Me personally is something that I can condone, right? Another man will not be able to condone that.
Do you have a mic? You have a mic? What he's saying is that you have to let go, like maybe he can take the ones that belong to him and then leave the mother with the other ones. He cannot, if you know you want to live in that family, all 5, you start burying stuff on that cabin and
exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Everybody's forgetting is that the 3 kids are no, but all 5 kids belong to the mother. All 5 kids are related. Yeah. So you can't separate those children.
That's what he said.
That's what he's saying. Depending on the information in the family, if the child we're talking about, if he or she does not know what is going on, you know, you can still bury that between yourself and your wife and move on. If you can condone it as a man. And everything seems to be like the child will definitely not know. But the fact
you've also been raising those kids, which means you're bonded.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, but anything that makes the child to know, then you know definitely the child is going to be traumatized, right? There's no way you can bring them together.
I'm going to have somebody else talk on this topic as well. Does we have any contribution from the family?
Yeah. So when it comes to raising children, I strongly agree with what he's saying, because once you are raising children, you're building a bond with the kids. And as a man, definitely you have to be there for the kids, whether they're yours biologically or not. Biologically, it doesn't really mean anything. It means just like sharing the same DNA. But to be a father, you build a bond with the me, it would, it would hurt a whole lot if I know that your kids are not actually your kids. But at the same time, since you've been raising them and you're bonding with them, and you raise them and you show them like how to be a man, you know what I mean, like growing with them. I couldn't all of a sudden just turn off that switch and be like, okay, you're not like biologically, so can be your dad, you know what I mean? No, they just have to stay there and be there and raise them. When they're adults, then they can figure it out on their own. But my job as a man would be just to continue raising them the same way that I have.
I believe that what you guys are saying is correct. And I think you can go and adopt a child and love them just as much as you would have loved your own biological child. So to me, my suggestion, and this actually happened in Toronto. I was at Suya Sport, and there was a man there with a bottle of Hennessy, half. And when I came in, he didn't look up to greet me. And then finally, I had to reach out to him to see if everything was okay. He just kept on shaking his head and shaking his head. So finally he told me what happened. He's trying to bring his kids from Nigeria and discovered that 2 of them were not actually his biological, kids. So this guy already downed this one. So when they came, and I told him that it's best for you to stop drinking right now because you're going to do something that you will regret later. He just discovered this. I said, have you spoken to your wife? It's like, well, not yet. I just found out. Because he was trying to get them and they did a DNA. And that's how they discovered that 2 were not his. So what I told him was this. My advice to him, I said, it's going to be very painful, but leave it with you and maybe somebody else that you trust so that you will not be, you will have an outlet. Eventually, what I would like you to do is never to let those kids know. But you can let your wife know, but never let those kids know what is going on. Raise them as your own because you can, and really, somebody, think about it. There are some of us that are fathers, but we're deadbeat dads. Think about it. Just because somebody is a biological, father of an individual, of a child, doesn't mean that that person is really the dad. You understand? So I think that would be my suggestion. Don't even say anything just between you and your wife and let the children grow up naturally.
I have a different perception of what you are saying because when I came in, the question was, how much will you ask them? So if some people say they decide that they will, the kid is, you keep seeing that kid, you keep remembering the cheating, the white. It's different from when you go and adopt a child. It's different from when you marry a wife and then the children become your children and you become their stepfather. It's different. This is a child that came out of adultery. So it's different. So if you would cheat, so many men said you will leave after some time. So if the woman cheats, and I know most men will be, because even in the Bible, the only reason you can divorce your wife is if she cheats on you in the Bible. That's the only reason you can divorce your wife. Yeah. And then it's also hard on when we say, oh, he will go to her, he can take some to the park with him. In this country, I stand to be corrected. When a woman has a baby, whoever the father is, not DNA, biological, assumes that role, regardless of if he's the actual father or not. And even when there's a divorce, the guy continues to pay child support. I stand to be corrected. So I see it a different way. Oh, we adopt kids. Yes, we adopted. Yeah, you went, we adopted a kid. We know that. But if I went to have sex and I got pregnant and I gave you the child, I said it's your child, and you found out later, that child came out of adultery.
So does that make that child a castaway because he came out of adultery?
Yeah, I have a different as a child and people that there is a big difference as to how you're treated, right? So as much as you guys are saying, oh, I will forgive the lady or I will forgive the man, that's not what happens. Like you can see the difference between the way you're treated and the way they treat their own children. And that's just my experience, and I know that's what happens with most people that are born out of wedlock, or out of cheating or whatever. So I feel like you should tell the children so they know who the real father is, so they can figure it out from there and then know what to do, because it does affect you as an individual and as a child. That's my take.
Thank you so much. I have Mr. Morris answer. What is going to put? We're talking about if you find out that the kids that you're raising are not your biological kids, and we all know that you're very traditional. So as a traditional man with the African hats that you wear in the customs, what will you do? Because a lot of people say they will forgive and let go and raise their
I see everybody's talking about it. Nobody's talking about the wife. Okay. The problem begins with the woman. So the moment I find out, from the hospital. Hopefully I find out from the hospital. Before I reach out, I don't want to put in the hospital. So before I transfer all back the things that are yours and leave. Then because for the child, you as a man, you can never get rid of it. Like it will be there. That pain will be there every time you see the child. So the best thing in that case, I will tell you, my wife, as you are living, you carry your child too.
That's true.
Yes, because if you keep the child, you are going to punish the child, because that's the pain will be there. Every time you wake up, you see this child, you begin to remember the sleepless night, how you raised the child and all that. So pack your things and don't forget to pack the child's things.
That's everything. Okay, so what if it's the other way around and then you found out he had a family outside the marriage?
No, if it's for a man.
No, I mean as a woman. If you find out
that your husband has a child outside the marriage, that's not normal thing.
Okay. No. Please. You have to remember, we keep on saying the traditional cultural man. So that's the standpoint from a traditional person. So listen, it's different, from a traditional standpoint, he is representing one area. Okay, continue now.
Yes, so, no, if it's from the side of the man, let's be realistic. See, at a man, God has put you in charge of your house. Yes. And when the head makes mistake, it is what can be corrected. No, it's not traditional standard. How to get away. As a man, it's normal, it's in the nature of man. But we try so hard to make sure you prevent it, that it does not happen. But if it happens as a man, it's just for you to call your mom and few other people, then you have to get your wife and your second child.
Everybody has different views, and that's why we will call it a talk show, because you get to learn different things. So he actually stands by what he says and what he does. So that's who he is, and that's from a tribe, which we know that a lot of them are out there. But then there's also other ones that might not be there. So you have to weigh which option and who you are. It's who you are that will determine the results that you have in your relationship. Because some things that somebody can take, somebody else can cannot take it. Some things that you take that, okay, it's okay, I'll take it, or some other people cannot take it. Some people are extremely dependent, or not dependent, so it all depends on the individual.
And people are also looking at it from the Canadian angle, so we are not looking at where we are coming from. If you look back to just like here, when people are saying, are we divorcing now? Because you know there are some attachment that goes with divorce. If it's in Nigeria, if you divorce you, you will back. If you divorce you will stay back. So,
and that is the difference, actually. Yeah, somebody has a.
Answer for the women and the men, and that's very wrong. Anyway, my own answer, if I found out that my husband had cancer, I have to be in that position to know what I'm doing. Now I can tell you what I'm doing. I really have to be in that position to say, this is what I would do. That's my own answer. And I wish other women would answer yesterday. Because you can't answer for the women.
The camera capturing you. The camera will be capturing you. It's better.
It's easy to actually say, you know what, I'll forget, and I'll move on. So easy to say. But when she hits the road, it's very hard to really deal with. And that's why I say I align with this thought, being that you just can't carry on. At some point, you're going to get irritated, and you just want to, go your way. You want to take the key. And if you want to show the love afterward, you can always extend it. But in order to keep a healthy relationship going forward without, kind of incident, it's so hard. I'll give an example. I come from, I have 3 kids. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So I'll give an example. So we're talking about adultery here. We're talking about this. The example on the side now is that it's not even about adultery. Okay, it's a situation where you have 2 kids or 3 kids from one marriage. You decided to marry another because something happened in that marriage. Discontinued. Maybe she passed or something. You decided to move on, right? And you got married again to another woman who probably has 1 or 2 other kids, right? So you have 2 from the previous marriage, right? And you have 2. Let's even say 1 from the new marriage. Realistically, let's be honest. Someone who is not a child, it takes a lot of effort, not even in this busy environment, it takes a lot of effort to really sometimes to say, hey, you're checking in, it's not how you're doing. Right? Even for the kids, sometimes it takes a lot of effort to catch up with their event, school programs, sport programs, and all that. And we're talking about the child who is born out of adultery. And it's easy. I mean, no matter how much you love kids, you're going to probably say, no, I don't love this kids, I'm not sure. It's going to get to a point where you come to realization and say, hey, this I can't do it. It's because it's psychological, right? You wake up in the morning, you see all kids running around, you're happy. Right? But you think about, especially when sometimes you have some kind of disagreement with the woman, those things will be surfacing again, right? And that's why I say allow the school of thought. I mean, part ways, it's done. Send whatever support you have for the woman or the man, and both ways now. If it's the man too, I don't know how the woman is going to do it. The next day she's going to probably find ways to sleep with the other one. You do not any kind of so it's probably going to be that army, right? So that's send money or some other things.
Most times we have to find out. So that's my sorry, not forgetting that even if your husband has a kid outside, it's the mother that's going to take care of it. It's not bringing the child home. But the one that will now be under my roof, I want to last time.
We will talk about all the things that happen. As a result of all these things we're discussing here, one or two things that happen to these kids, maybe back in school, maybe back with this marriage issues between the dad and the mom. So if I talk about what Morrison is trying to say, the MC Morrison, in respect to the woman should take her kids and go away and blah blah blah. I think, I'm sorry ladies, I think he has a point. You know why? Because we've had cases, if we can all confirm, when we hear that the men, they either mother the children, when the woman goes to the market or maybe she goes to a place of work, in the course of going out, and the guy is kind of bitter. Mostly the guy really loves the wife. Yes, they had cases where they mother the children, oh, you're not my biological child, you know my things, you know my dad. And at the end of the day, the woman goes out to perform daily activities and she comes back and the child is murdered. We read it on the news. So it's part of what happened. No, we are talking about the traditional aspect of it. Yes, if you ask me, the woman, if she knows the kind of man she has as a husband, she should respect herself. Is that she kind of dismiss herself out of that scenario? Because there's nothing you can talk to a traditional man. And let's talk about it in Canada right now. In Canada, it's even crazy. It's just all about gunshot. Woman is gone. Why you wouldn't even talk too much? You just shoot the person. Because the guy feels you betrayed his love, you betrayed his trust and everything, and you feel like you can't bring someone out of the blue and say it's my own child, you know? So it's a natural thing. Thank you.
Thank you so much for contributing.
Yeah, go to the next one.
So we're gonna go to the next one now. Thank you. That was really deep. I wanted to just hear everybody's perspective about that. Now we're taking more lighter on the lighter tone now. Do you not believe in soulmates? That there's one soulmate for one person, or you believe that there's multiple soulmates that can fill up the shoe? Multiple person that can fill. I'll have this question. I'll have a
Probably the real definition of the soulmate. I can Google it.
So when I mean soulmate, it's not ladies or couples or husband or wife. Made for each other. Somebody that finishes and somebody that understands you, somebody that completes you, somebody that makes you better, makes you improve, somebody that you meet with a dollar and turns it into a million. You know, somebody that also
I believe that there are people that you can meet and you just kick it off and be just permanent like that all through your relationship. But I don't think it's only one individual, because if anything happens to that person, you can also find another soulmate. There are certain type of characters or temperaments that gel together. So, I don't think it's only one individual, because you could have missed one person that you would have married, just 2 minutes of greeting somebody and the person walked off, and then
I can say that I'm not married, and I part of the reason why it was part of the reason why I'm not very yet is the fact that I still compare the man that I'm with right now to my first one, which is nothing gay about it. It's just I feel like somehow we were meant to be. But maybe out of my own immaturity, at that time I was younger. We're talking about like 17, 18 years ago. So I was much younger then. And I was not mature as I am right now. So certain things I feel like and just
understand. But still up to today, when I person, I kind of compare things that the person has to what I have, right? And I think sometimes like someone, yeah, this man, this guy, and I talk about him more than I even talk about like friends.
Still in love.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, it's a on and off somewhere. So talk about your phone. I believe that it does exist, and if you're lucky to find that person, then that's good.
Thank you.